Welcome everybody at Dromen Realiseren 2.0. We're talking about fulfilling our dreams, and I have two amazing guests who I will have this conversation with, and I'm so excited. And in the meantime, I'm also nervous. Um, can you guys please introduce yourselves? Edson.
Oh, I was gonna say ladies first.
Go ahead, Edson. It's fine. I'll
Okay.
come straight
In that
after.
case, what I'll do is I'll introduce my partner in crime, Selina, who I've known for over a decade.
Mhm.
We've worked together on helping people changing their life, changing the path of their life, finding purpose, and taking on challenges, and unblocking themselves from whatever has been stopping them. We've been doing that through workshops. Um, the amazing thing about Selina is that she has the corporate background, has been there, has had her own business, knows how that works. And now she still has her own business and works as a rapid transformational therapist, and coach. And yeah, and she's a pleasure, and it's a really privilege for me to work with her. She brings something to our team of two, that I don't have, right? So Selena dares to go into the areas that I rather not deal with, and she's really good at that. So I've referred many of my clients and friends to work with her, and I've worked with Selena as well, and yeah, she's done miracles for me. So that is Selena.
Wow, thank you, Edson. That's quite an introduction. Then let me reciprocate and tell you a bit about Edson. Edson is one of the most creative people I know. He is somebody who has a huge heart and challenges people to the core. He knows when to beat them with a stick, and he knows when to be soft and smooth. And we, like Edson said, we worked together for a very long time. I trust Edson wholeheartedly. We've done a lot of great work together, and we complement each other really well. I find that he's so creative with ideas. He comes up with great quotes and ideas, and he manages to find the way in to just flip the idea around with people, and I'm always very impressed. And he is somebody that has challenged me to my core. It's been a bit of a love-hate relationship at times, where he's pushed me so hard that I've kind of gone and wanted to run away, but instead I've faced it, and it's helped me grow a lot. And I've seen him do that with other people, and I think that's what people love about him. And he leads by example. He puts in the effort that he says, and I'm, yeah, proud to call him a good friend.
Wow, wow. Well, thank you for the introduction. And as at Dromen Realiseren, we are talking about fulfilling your dreams. And I want to ask you, Selena, did you fulfill your dreams?
Yes, I would say I'm still fulfilling them. As in, I used to work for a company, a large financial institution, and one of my dreams was to find work that I'm passionate about. And I must say that with the work that I do now as a rapid transformational therapist, I truly feel blessed. I really am very grateful for that, to have found something that I feel like when I do my work with the clients, I just feel like I'm in the right place. I feel passionate about it. I feel like I'm helping people at a deeper level, and it's amazing. So yes, I am really grateful to have found this, because it wasn't always like that. I wasn't always happy in the work that I was doing, but now I can safely say that I am. And yes, I am continuing to fulfill my dreams. I have more dreams, and I think that's part of, like, that's what happens with dreams. They grow, they change, they expand into different things. So I am still continuously working on myself and dreams.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. And It's like yeah, I've had a privilege already to speak to you about your dreams, to talk to you about your dreams. And as Selina said, we're still fulfilling our dreams because it's an ongoing process. In your profession, in the like, how do you two work together? What are the things that you can um, advise anyone to do to fulfill their dreams?
Mm. Wow, that's a good question. Um, I'm just gonna share something. I've had a conversation with my wife this weekend, and it was about the acceptance of life. Um, and and I realized as my wife was confronted with what life really is about, right? Or no, what is really about, but the cycle of life, right? Um, and intellectually, we all know this, right? It's like born, I die, cycle of life, right? Um, and the secular part of it is that we go 6 feet under, and our remains gets used by nature. Um, and in that, the realization that I had is that there's parts of it that I intellectually and emotionally accept, and there's part of it where I'm not at ease. And the part that I'm not at ease is the part that's about dreams, right? So the part that I'm not at ease about emotionally about accepting that my life went is legacy,
Mm.
right? So I've created um, life purpose process, right? I can honestly say that with the guidance of my mentors, that I've created a process for people to go through. I've created my interpretation of circle of influence and other methodologies and principles. Now, some of those live in people, right? All the people that have gone to my workshops, and but there is no tangible thing that lives out there. I've not made a book. My principles are not part of an educational system. So the legacy part um, that's missing, and I think that for everybody who is out there looking at, okay, so how am I going to fulfill my dreams? Is really, if you really accept life for what it is, then you will get a natural sense of urgency. And if you then still don't do it, okay, that's up to you, right? But that sense of urgency that you can create for yourself by accepting the cycle of life, not only intellectually but emotionally, because when you emotionally connect to it, you will create a different sense of urgency,
Mhm.
right? Just saying something, saying like, okay, I know I'm going to die one day, yeah, but we all walk around thinking that that one day is somewhere on that infinity loop, but it ain't. Right?
Mhm.
That one day, that can be tomorrow, that can be in 2 years or in a few decades.
Yeah.
But if you want that book to be out there, that company to be found, or whatever it is that you want to do, then you really have to accept that there is a deadline. All right. So that's what I would say. And then come talk to us. If there's anything else, like once you have that and you find yourself being blocked or scared, then well, come talk to us or other coaches, but then get the help so that you can really go for it.
Yeah, like, okay. Now you guys, you've told me something about each other, what you're doing, etc. But I would like people to know, what exactly do you do? Like, if I know what you guys can do. I mean, like creating a life purpose and having two coaches who can, both of you guys on your own way, separate ways, you help us to find your life purpose. Um, but how can you explain it to anyone, someone like, okay, I don't know what my life purpose is. How can you guys help me? What can I expect?
Selina, you want to take this one?
No, I think life purpose, you go for it.
I'll give you a little bit of the journey of the creation of it. And if anybody's listening and you recognize yourself in this, then this is the conversation to have. I've lived my life up on, well, basically as a teenager, I started to ask questions about life. Like, so what's the idea about this? Right? And I had all my little conspiracy theories, thinking that all this stuff was planned. And then as you carry on and you grow older and you get to see how wide, how many people there are on the planet as I'm making more contact. And I start to let go of all my conspiracy theories and go like, okay, well, actually, so this is it, right? And I was very underwhelmed. And then looking at, so well, why me and what am I supposed to do here? What's my life about? That combined with the fact that I also got very disgusted by human behavior, threw me on the cycle of asking this question over and over. It's like, what's the point? What am I supposed to do here? Am I just supposed to party? Because basically that's what I was doing in my 20s. I had a really cool job, traveled the world, saw interesting things, and I would always come home with the same question. And now what? Right? Been to New York, been there, been this, done that. The limos, the movie premieres, the celebrities, and it all felt so empty, right? So I had this question like, there must be more. And the most depressing thing for me was not having an answer. Like, what else is there? So I luckily then got introduced to Dr. Viktor Frankl. And what I learned there is what the whole life purpose creation process is based upon, which is that we are here on this planet to choose our service to others, right? So we're here not just to consume, but we're here also to produce. The consumption is so that we can produce. And most people have it the other way around, right? Produce so that we can consume, right? I go to work so that I can eat and I can party, right? And the whole idea is like, no, I eat and then I go and contribute. And we all need to find our way. And it's a combination of finding what inspires you and what makes your heart sing, and then use that for a greater good. So through the process that Selina and I take our participants through, and also our clients, what we do is we guide them through a process that helps them to elicit from themselves what makes them happy, what inspires them, and then within the framework of their core values, so that you can walk through life inspired and joyful, not violating your own values. And we tend to leave people with aspirational values so that they step up their game, so that they live according to the values that they appreciate most, and then go out in the world and do something that makes a difference to a community, however big or small that community is.
Yeah, yeah. And like, there are so many coaches at the moment. you look right, left, wherever you look, there are coaches. And for me, what is so special about you both is the combination of man and woman, the combination London, Switzerland, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like we're like and during COVID, and that you guys are offering these amazing workshops, amazing master classes, and I want to know what, that's my opinion, but what makes you guys the go-to people, those who the coaches who can help me, can help others to be a better version of themselves.
That's a very good question. I think Edson and I have had this conversation many a time, and that's there is someone out there for everyone. And we all have different experience, we have different filters, and some people will be attracted to us and some won't be. And that's okay, because we are likewise attracted to certain mentors and certain coaches and not to everyone. So I think that's pretty normal. I think what it comes down to for both of us, we work together very well, because I think in some ways we have very similar values and we want a better future for our children. I would say that is one of the key things. And like most human beings, I would hope that that is one of their key things, is that they want a better future, a more integrative, a more happy, a more accepting, a more loving kind of future. I would say the combo with us is like Edson kind of mentioned a bit before, is that I am very happy to kind of delve in the past and help people let go of the past. And he's like, I don't want to go there. Whereas he is incredibly creative and he comes up with all these kind of creative solutions and ideas for moving forward as well, which is how I think we're a really good combo and we get each other. So sometimes I know Edson jokingly says it's like everyone needs a mom and a dad. And it's kind of almost good cop, bad cop. We just managed to, play on each other's strengths and know when it kind of works, and how when somebody needs a little bit more of a sensitive touch, or somebody needs a bit more of a stick sometimes, or a bit more of an ultimatum. So we seem to, I think it's because we've known each other so long and we've pushed each other's buttons a lot. We know we know each other on a very good level. He's, like I said, pushed me very hard, but I've also managed to like ease and coax things out of him too. So we do that with our clients. I don't know, Edson, what would you like to add to that?
What I would add to that is I get excited when I hear that there's a lot of coaches out there. As Selina said, it's not about necessarily a good coach or a bad coach. Evidently, there are people that unfortunately are not that good at their job. But in general, what we're looking at is matches, right? Do you match, right? It's just like two people meeting each other isn't about one being good and the other not being good. That's like, is it a match? If it's a match, then they can go on and carry on. And it's like between Selina and myself, like this is a match, right? So there's, as Selina said, there's we share the same values, and at the same time we complement each other. Mm-hmm. Right? I think if our partners would be listening now, they'd be sitting there like, I might be jealous of that, right? And it really works. And everybody needs a coach. And you know, the last thing that I would add to that is the fact that there are so many people doing coaching tells you, it tells us something. It tells us something about general education. It tells us something about general upbringing, that there is such need for it, because evidently are a lot of things that are not being facilitated through traditional upbringing, education, and employment. That there is this this business called coaching that is needed.
Yeah, yeah. Um, with all your life experiences, your experiences as a coach in the corporate world, um, what do you guys think would be the right age to start having a coach?
It's a good question.
It's a very good question.
That's a very good question.
How we both feel about that.
Yeah, I think it depends on who you ask. I think, well, I think you're never too young to have a coach, to be honest. Like, my little boy benefits from having us as coaches. We also called parents, but we're also his coaches. If you're learning a new skill, then it's great to have a coach, be that a tennis coach, a swimming coach, yeah, anything. I know Edson has a story about, I'd let you talk about that one with bringing somebody to personal development. And you're supposed to bring, do you remember the story where you said you were supposed to bring somebody to the personal development course?
Yeah.
And then you tell them why you brought them to that personal development course.
Yeah. I don't know if this is the story you meant, where it's like one of my best friends. I had just completed a personal development course, and the trainer asked us to introduce our guest, and then he asked our guest why they came, and my friend got up and said, "I want what he's got." And this is also kind of where the whole lead by example thing came from, um, where it's all nice to talk about stuff, but when people get to see something and they go, "Hey, I like that. Can I have some of that? What did you have for breakfast? I want that." Right? Is that the story that you meant?
No,
No.
I'll tell it. So you brought somebody to a personal development course, and then you're supposed to tell why you brought that guest. And you said, I wish I had learnt these things when I was your age.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. So Selina is talking about my baby sister. I had just completed. That was my first personal development course, and then my lovely sister asked me, um, "Why did you bring me? And why should I register to do this?" I said, "Well, I brought you because I love you, and why should you register to do this? I wish that I was 18 and learned this." Right at the time, I was 26, and I thought, "Wow, if I knew this stuff." And that has become one of my biggest passions. And as I earlier said to when we were talking about legacy, this stuff needs to be mainstream education. It You can't start, as Selina said, you can't start early enough, right? It needs to be part of nursery, primary, secondary, school, um, to understand life, to understand what life is about, right? To understand how your brain works. It's nice to put information in there, but if you understand how your brain works, right? The other day, I was having a conversation with my daughter about, uh, she's 10, she's learning about neuroplasticity. and and we're having a conversation about how to drive your brain, how to be in control of your state, and that we can create state changes through our doing. And I wish for all children that they're having these kind of conversations in school with their parents, so that they get the guide to, okay, so I have this body. Okay, I've learned a lot of stuff by doing, but I'm sure there must be a whole bunch of other stuff that I can still do, because it's like endless, right? And my daughter really has this with physical stuff, and not only physical stuff. It's like, oh, I want to learn how to do that. Right, driving car. I want to drive a car, Daddy. When are you going to teach me how to drive? Right, for her, because she's in that age of that age where her brain is super plastic, right? It's like a sponge. So you can put anything in there. And that's why when you're 26, when I started personal development, this scientists believe that our brain is fully developed by the time that we're 25, right? So just think about all this information, all this stuff about purpose and all these strategies and these principles. And you know that puberty, like puberty for most people is hell, right? And you already know all of this stuff. Now all of a sudden puberty doesn't become hell. Puberty becomes this time where you're going to have the biggest impact on the world, because you get it, right? Anyway, digressing here.
And to answer your question, it's never too early to get a coach, and it's never too late. I know lots of people who are in their 60s and 70s who are happily embracing coaching for the first time, and it's doing wonders. So there is no age. Anytime, as long as you're willing to learn, to change, is a good time.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
great.
definitely.
Great.
My clients range. I don't know about how young your youngest client is, Selina, but my youngest client was 17. She's 22 now. From 17 to 70, 72. And yeah, you're never too young, you're never too old.
Yeah, I think so long as you're willing to change, or wanting to change, or wanting to see a difference, then any age.
Yeah. I'm so excited about this conversation. I would like to ask so many questions, so I have to focus on, okay, which question I will ask now. But is there one success story you have that inspired you as well?
Yeah, let me share the one, my one, my one. It's actually about myself. I was working in corporates for a very long time, and I had already made the decision to leave to pursue my company. My company before was called Curious Courses, where I offered short courses getting people to try new things. And I had already done the life purpose workshop with Edson, and we had already been working together for quite a while. And I remember him coming back one day. He'd just been to some jazz festival, and he said to me, "Oh, wouldn't it be great if there was a day where there's lots of different courses and people could pick and choose their courses that day?" And I had just decided to quit my job. I'd already handed in my resignation, and everything had become very scary. And I was like, no, it's too big. Oh no, I'm not interested. Just let me grow my business slowly. And so I thought that was the end of it. So Edson came over from London I think it was about February. He came over to run some courses. He was doing life purpose, and I think we were doing a money mindset course as well. And at the end of one of the courses, he suddenly said to the group, "Guess what? Selina's organizing a big day in the summer where there's going to be lots of different courses and you can pick and choose." So, so I'm sitting there with my jaw on the floor going, what are you saying? And then he says to the group, who would be interested in going? And everyone puts their hand up. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay. So I take it in and I go, okay, I'll do it. Okay. And then by agreeing to do it, I suddenly have so many fears because I feel like I've taken on this mammoth task and I'm totally blocked. I'm totally blocked. I'm totally scared. I'm freaking out. I can't do anything. Totally paralyzed. And so every call I would have with Edson, I would be giving him evil eye, going, oh my God, what have you got me into? And he coached me and helped me through some of the barriers that I had created myself. And my dear darling husband basically sat down with me every single morning and said to me, what are you working on today? I was so paralyzed that I couldn't do anything, but he sat down with me every morning and said, okay, what are you doing today? So every day, just tiny bits, tiny bits, tiny bits, tiny bits, plus the coaching from Edson, being able to ask for and receive help. And we came to our first Curious Courses Day, and it was amazing. Edson was the keynote. We had 19 speakers. We had every hour, there were 3 different rooms and a different speaker. So you basically got to pick and choose your day. So you had photography, you could go to food, you could go to all sorts of different things. And it was incredible. It was amazing. And for me, I went from thinking that I can't to knowing I can. And that was the biggest confidence boost I've ever experienced in my life, just knowing that I'm capable of doing more than I thought I was. So I'm forever grateful, but there have been moments where I wanted to kill Edson, as you as Edson knows. But it was great, and it really showed me what's possible. I would never have done it myself. I needed that.
A real big push.
Sink and swim, sink or swim, yeah. So no, it was great. I'm grateful that he did that, because it would have taken me a lot longer to get probably to the same point. And it was a bit of a crazy time, but it was worth it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. The year after, she did it again, and then the year after, she did it again. Right? And if we bring in purpose, because we've had lots of conversations about right, why are you doing this? Yeah, because you made me. But the why for Selina was about bringing people together, building connections. And there's people who have met each other there who say, oh, but I met you at Curious Courses Day. Right? So it's like her life purpose was all coming together in that. Like, Selina is an incredible networker, and she's really well good at making introductions. Right? And she's introduced me to some of her friends, and that are now also my friends. And she just has this ability to know, like, oh, those two together, that's going to be great. And every single time she nails it. And now she had this big event where so many people were doing this, and it was all facilitated through her vision.
Wow.
Right? And I think when it comes to coaching, and we're talking about realizing dreams here, and if you're going to look for a coach, you want to look for a coach who can see what you can see, and maybe even bigger and brighter than that you can see it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the cheerleader that you need as a coach on your sideline, so that you can go and do your thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
So Edson, what is your success story that inspired you during your career being a coach?
I have a good few, and I think I will touch on the fact that that I work holistically. So when I work with my clients, I interview them around all of the areas of their life, right? Normally, clients come to you with usually with one thing that they want to work on or that they're stuck with, and then there's blind spots. Could be health, could be finance, could be something in their relationship. And I'll briefly share two stories. One is a film director who came to me, and he wanted to work more internationally, and he wanted to basically step up his game. And we never really worked on strategies around that. All we worked on was how he was treating himself, what he was consuming, but not only food, but just how what he was consuming and what he was producing. So where he started to look after himself, he started also to look after the relationships that he was having with people around him. And I can't remember exactly how much weight he lost, but he lost a ton of weight, right? He had to basically buy a whole new wardrobe because he didn't fit any of his clothes anymore, right? So his weight loss was a double-digit number. And I'm really pleased when with that story because um, it shows you that there might be a blind spot and that all these things are connected. How you feel about yourself is linked to how you perform out there in the world, how you're being perceived. If you're not happy with yourself, and if you're putting junk into your body and there's junk coming out of your mouth when you speak, it's not attractive. People they don't see you basically, right? Um, and then the other story is a life purpose story where a doctor came to me working in the hospital, and she was put in charge of a ward. And but then there was a consultant because he wasn't a consultant yet. So there was a consultant. How it works? This works in English like as a consultant. That is, well, then you're the captain, kind of, right, on the ship. So she was put in charge of the ward, but then there was a consultant. So that she had to report to, which meant that this consultant could send patients to her ward, and she couldn't do anything about it. So she would sometimes get patients that she knew wouldn't be right on her ward, which could be basically lives at risk, right? um, and she was frustrated about that. And I thought, okay, so this is a leadership conversation. But let's start where I always start, which is let's look at your life purpose. So we went through the life purpose process. And what happened for her is that she got back in touch with why she studied medicine in the first place. And when she connected to her why, her entire motivation for being a doctor, she didn't need, basically, it was just that. After that, we didn't have any leadership sessions. That was the agreement that we would, but everything just clicked for her. Like she was there to help people, to give people hope, and to give them a way out of whatever illness they would have. And her connecting with that brought back the resources within her and the leadership skills within her that she could cope with having somebody else being in charge of her ward, or not being in charge of her ward, but sending her patients, and all the political nightmares that circled around that, because she was so aligned that she figured out how to deal with that. Um, and that's success for me. So when people connect with their purpose, and it creates such a drive in them that everything else just falls into place.
Yeah, great, amazing stories. Um, we're talking about realizing our dreams, and you guys, you are still working on fulfilling your dreams, realizing your dreams. You're helping others to get there. And um, my question to you guys is, with all the experience you have, what would you, Selina, tell your 15-year-old Selina, what you know now about life, about um, everything you've experienced? What would you tell Selina from 15 years old?
Wow, a lot of information to condense into a few sentences. That's it's a hard one, but the first word that came to my mind was mindset. It's really work on the mindset because it's everything. It from what Edson was saying before, it's what we consume. It's not just about food, but it's the beliefs we consume from the news, from our parents, from people who love us and who mean well, but still we are consuming their limiting beliefs and their positive beliefs as well. So really learn how to question that and see what works and what doesn't. Because if my 15-year-old self could do that, I think I would have saved myself a lot of time going forward over the years. Yeah, and the key, which I also tell all my clients and myself continuously, is get to know yourself really well. When you get to know yourself really well, you know what works for you, you know how to interact with people, you know what makes you click, what triggers you, what makes you go for it, what stops you, then you've really got the key to yourself. And if everyone just got to know themselves really well, I think we'd be in a much better place.
Yeah. And sometimes you need some help to know who you really are. And what I've learned about you guys and in this conversation is don't be scared to ask anyone for help. You don't have to do it by yourself. You don't have to do it alone. Like we are all, you two, you're working together and you both have your own um, special skills. And those both skills together makes you more greater. And I think that we, especially during this COVID period, I think it's so important to know who you are before you can make those steps to go and grow and get better and better and better each day. And Edson, I was wondering, is there anyone that you can think of about like when you were young? If I could have this conversation with a certain person in my life who I might help, if I would have had this conversation with this person, I would help them in their process through life. And I don't need a name or anything, but like
I'm not following your question, sorry.
like in life, when you had friends and maybe not a friend but a teacher or whatever, and with everything you know now, sometimes when you're young you went, oh, I didn't like this person's behavior, and if they would only know that. Do you think about these things when you're coaching and using this as examples how to change things or implement things in your coaching?
So are you saying that or are you asking me if I think about certain individuals from when I was 15?
Yeah, yeah.
First of all, no. I
Or life experiences?
no. So I look forward.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just work with what's here and to come, and I look at well, basically children who are 15 now, but I don't look back at yeah
But,
at my
but I think you do take into account people's like past and history to understand why they tend to behave in a certain way.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. But I think your coaching is very much, okay, it is as it is now. What can we change to go forward?
Okay.
Yeah. That question is actually more for Selina.
Yeah, no, that is my work is really based upon the past to find out why you may be experiencing something now. It's probably related to something in your past that is similar, and therefore your subconscious mind is trying to protect you from feeling that way again, which is why it tells you to not do something, to stop doing that, because it doesn't want you feeling rejected, criticized, basically feeling bad again. So by identifying stuff in the past, we're able to let it go so that you can move forward in a different way.
So that's the connection I was talking about. Like Selina, who is helping you with that past, so you can let go of it, and you, Edson, like looking in the being here in the here and now and looking into the future. So it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, if I would illustrate it is as this individual who wants to take off and fly, but they have a lot of baggage, right? And I can give them all kinds of flight instructions, but they still can't take off, right? And that's where Selina comes in. It's like, okay, let's get rid of the baggage, and then I can give them flight instructions, and then all of a sudden they can actually take off.
Yeah. Wow, great.
Yeah.
Great. Edson, I always ask my guests, what's your life purpose, your quote? Is there any special thing that's like your everyday like guideline?
Yeah, make a difference, educate, right?
And your t-shirt.
And my t-shirt, leave, for example.
And Selina, what's yours?
I have a few because I was thinking about this quite recently as well, and I think it's be kind, be curious, and take action.
Great. Oh, I love you guys. I like, the thing is, sometimes in life you meet certain people, and then when you do certain things, you think about them because they are reminding you of things so you can grow, things how you can get better and be a better you. So I'm so happy that I was in one of your workshops, and it was such an amazing journey. And I am wondering, is there anything else we can expect from you guys?
Yes, there is. Well, we were just talking about giving people flight instructions, and then getting rid of the baggage, the thing that's holding you back. And what we found is that the reason people most often give for that is a lack of confidence. And our mission is to help people be happy, fulfilled, and reach their potential. As I said earlier in our conversation, if you accept life for what it is, you have a sense of urgency to go and build that business, write that book, develop that course, whatever it is that you want to do, and confidence is the thing that's stopping you. Let's deal with that. So Celine and I have been working on putting a workshop together, which will be coming up very soon, this Thursday actually, and it's about owning your confidence. Right, own your confidence. We'll be looking at dealing with feelings of imposter syndrome. Right, when you feel that you're not good enough, that you don't belong. It's not. You don't have the right to be in the room yet. So, and Selina will do her magic, looking at things that have been created consciously, unconsciously in your past that are holding you back. Um, and then we're just going to look at the language that people are using, because it tends to be this little internal conversation. And we're going to depict that, and we're going to install some new conversations and work on some neuroplasticity, how to guide your own mind into getting there, doing the thing that you want to do, feeling that you can take on any and everything, and that you're resourceful enough, and being in a place of knowing, right? Expanding what you can take on. So that's what's coming up.
Yeah, and so it sounds very interesting, and I want to know if anyone is interested, how can they apply to this course?
Yep, you can register at the website selinamankarlson.ch/own your confidence. So we'll put it into wherever we're putting this. So it's own minus your minus confidence.
Okay.
Or you can find it on my website.
We'll make sure to put some information in the description.
Yeah, and just to let you know, it's a free workshop and it's online. It's in the evening at 7 to 9 p.m. European time.
Okay. And what's with, oh my gosh, I have so many questions, but I have to. Sorry. Yeah. So one thing, is there anything you guys want to tell us and every viewer about fulfilling your dreams, or anything to get us through the day?
So I would say, if you have questions about life, or you feel stuck in life, go get a coach. Get in touch with us. We are happy to be your coach. And there's a whole bunch of other great coaches out there, right? Find a coach that's right for you, that you can see yourself be supported by, right? Dare to be a bit uncomfortable.
Selina.
Yeah, similar lines. It's basically stop procrastinating and start taking action.
Yeah, great. Well, Edson and Selina, I want to thank you guys so much, and I hope my English isn't that great, but I hope it
Totally
so
fine.
sorry if I made some mistakes, but I really want to thank you guys for this conversation and for inspiring us and helping us on our journey. And I want to ask you guys who are watching and tell you that you can go to Edson's website and to Selina's website, and the description will be below. In the description, I will put it down. So don't you need to do something for yourself, and so I will advise you to get a coach and just talk to Selina or Edson, and maybe if it's a match, just register for this workshop, and you'll know who they are. So I will be there, so maybe we'll meet each other there. So just sign in, register, and I'll see you on the next episode of Dromen Realiseren. So goodbye, Edson and Selina, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Bien. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye-bye.